I warned you guys that something was going on in the ocean between Russia and Alaska. I even made multiple videos about it, and still I was shocked by just how strong that earthquake really was.
Господи, боже мой!
They are already calling it one of the most powerful earthquakes ever recorded, and for good reason. Now what's crazy is that only yesterday, just hours before this earthquake, I uploaded a video where I talked about a 1,000-foot tall tsunami and once again mentioned the earthquakes near our western coast. And we all know what happened then.
Here we go. This is the second set of sirens. Siren set number 2. We are 2 hours away from the tsunami landing here in Hawaii.
At least they decided to use sirens this time around, because we all know that in the past they often skip that step.
Do you regret not sounding the sirens?
I do not. And the reason why... and
So many people said they could have been saved if they had time to escape. Had a siren gone off, they would have known that there was a crisis emerging.
The sirens, as I had mentioned earlier, is used primarily for tsunamis, and that's the reason why many of them are found, almost all of them are found on the coastline.
Now, you didn't need these warnings or sirens to tell you that you could be in danger. The water was already receding by the time those warnings went out.
Yeah, that's probably
Dry.
Yeah, I honestly kind of want to see it happen.
Oh yeah, that's drying up, huh? See
Is that
that's
pulling
drying
back
up.
right there?
Yeah, that's doing that.
And of course, the evacuation warnings were also going out to people in Russia as well as Japan.
So just a quick update, we are currently evacuated from our hotel in Kamakura, Japan, at a local school about 100 feet above sea level.
However, this is where things took a horrifying turn. As soon as people in Hawaii started driving to higher ground, the roads got blocked because of all that traffic.
There's a view looking west. Beach.
This was eerily reminiscent of what we saw during the Lahaina fire, so I won't lie, I was very concerned for the safety of all those people who kept saying they couldn't leave.
We're pretty close to the water, so if we were stuck there and the tsunami did hit, I mean, we wouldn't be able to move.
Now, keep in mind, at this point, no one knew what kind of catastrophe was heading towards these islands. Don't forget that in 2011, a 9.1 magnitude earthquake created a biblical tsunami. So many people were fearing the worst, and I'm just shocked that even after so many calamities, we haven't figured out a way to evacuate people without causing a massive traffic jam. And as if that wasn't already bad enough, people started posting videos about how they were not allowed to use Oprah's private road.
Look at this. I think they're trying to open Oprah's road. Come on, Oprah. Save us. Road to all the way up country, bro. All the way up country. She got it all to herself. And everybody trying to get in. Cops trying to open it. Nope. Still closed. Man. She got her own road from Wailea all the way up country, which is the safe zone. And she won't even save us. Now, I don't know that, but road's still closed. People are still passing it. And we're still stuck.
Now, she did open it after a while, but you tell me, who would have been responsible if the tsunami had struck while this road was closed off to the people? Now, luckily, the waves that reached Hawaii were not nearly as tall as people feared.
So far, we have not seen a wave of consequence, which is great relief to us. It's kind of a blessing to not be reporting any damage.
Japan was also spared. In fact, even in Russia, the tsunami didn't cause as much destruction. Now, let's be clear. We were spared, and I'm glad that we didn't witness another massive tragedy. However, it's also clear that if a massive tsunami hits our west coast, a lot of people are not going to be able to evacuate in time. We have already witnessed dozens of aftershocks in the last 24 hours, and most of them were over the magnitude 6, which is insane. By now, it should be obvious that this region is experiencing very abnormal seismic activity, and it won't just stop. From everything I've looked at so far, there's likely going to be another earthquake near our west coast, and we're just not ready for it. And I gotta be honest, I don't want to see a repeat of what I witnessed in Lahaina or North Carolina or even Texas. It's gonna take more than just trying to force the government to create better evacuation and warning plans for a situation like this. Now, before we move on from this, I once again want to show you a video about those doomsday fish because I'm starting to believe those warning signs. This is terrifying news. A doomsday fish just washed up on the beach in Tasmania and people are freaking out. They call it the oarfish. It's a massive deep sea creature that lives over 1,600 feet underwater. It never comes near humans unless something's seriously wrong. And here's where it gets spooky. In Japanese legend, oarfish only surface when a major disaster is coming. Earthquakes, tsunamis, even mass death events. Before the 2011 Japan tsunami, dozens of these things started showing up. And now, boom. Another one just hits land in Australia. Scientists say it's probably just sick. But let me ask you something. If these creatures never show up, how did ancient cultures even know they exist? How did they create mythology around them if they're never seen? Are we really supposed to believe it's all coincidence? Because here's what people aren't saying. These oarfish don't just appear. They warn. So when one shows up, you'd better look around and ask, what the hell is about to happen? Now, next up, I want to share some major updates about Epstein. I'm sure you guys know that Ghislaine Maxwell has asked for complete immunity or a presidential pardon in return for testimony in front of the House Oversight Committee. This, of course, comes right after President Trump made these remarks.
Would you consider a pardon or a commutation for Ghislaine Maxwell if
it's something I haven't thought about. It's really something. It's something I'm allowed to do it, but it's something I have not thought about.
But you wouldn't rule it out, sir.
Why has the dollar?
Look, if she knows that she will get her freedom by cooperating with the administration, don't you think she's going to say whatever the DOJ wants her to say?
No, she is a liar, and she's a dirtbag.
So then why subpoena her if you can't trust her?
Well, because the one thing we got holding over her head is if we find out she lies, she goes back to her original sentence.
And that's why I'm giving you another warning. If they offer her a deal, you better not believe a word that comes out of her mouth. She's a horrible criminal, so no pardons here even if she's ready to snitch on other people. In fact, we don't even need her. We can just release all those files, and it looks like the Democrats are going to be the ones to do it.
Century-old and little-known law known as the Rule of Five to compel the Department of Justice to release the full and complete Epstein files. Under federal law, when any 5 senators on the Homeland Security Committee call on the executive branch must comply. Our request covers all documents, files, evidence, and other materials in possession of the DOJ, the FBI, related to the case of United States versus Jeffrey Epstein. While protecting the victims' identities can and must be of top importance, the public has a right to know who enabled, knew of, or participated in one of the most heinous sex trafficking operations in history. Let me remind everyone of what's happened in recent months. Donald Trump campaigned on releasing the Epstein files. He broke that promise. In February, FBI Director Kash Patel promised
it would be a huge blow if a man like Chuck Schumer manages to release those files. So I do hope Mike Johnson stops playing games and endorses the petition filed by Thomas Massie. But something tells me they're not going to pass any legislation that can help them earn some trust. We all know what most Republican leaders, including our president, have said about insider trading.
And Nancy Pelosi has a little problem because her husband sold their Visa stock. They had a lot of Visa stock one day before Visa, it was announced that Visa is being sued by the Department of Justice. Think of that. Nancy Pelosi sold vast amounts of Visa stock one day before the big lawsuit that we all read about a few days ago was brought against Visa. You think it was luck? I don't think. She should be prosecuted. Nancy Pelosi should be prosecuted for that.
And yet, they just don't want to stop it. Let me just show you their hypocrisy. Josh Hawley has introduced an act to stop insider trading once and for all, and it's called the Pelosi Act. In fact, he even managed to get it through a Senate committee, but he was the only Republican senator who voted for it.
In national headlines tonight, a bill that would ban members of Congress from buying, selling, or owning individual stocks is making its way through the Senate. Nearly all Republicans on the panel voted against the bill except for its sponsor, Senator Josh Hawley of Missouri.
However, just look at how Republicans reacted to this legislation.
You made a reference to billionaires, okay? I don't know when in this country it became a negative to make money. But somehow, if you've made money, you're supposedly, I think Senator Hawley suggests, you shouldn't be serving because you might trade stocks. Now, I came up here, I made money. I've got a business background. But what I was just accused of is making money, and somehow I can't be fair and do things the right way. So I think it's disgusting what is going on here.
My friends, we are paying these guys hundreds of thousands of dollars every single year, and once they retire, they get paid even more when they join those think tanks. So these people are not poor, and no one forced them to take this job. They chose and, in fact, begged us to let them do it, and now they want to use their position to get filthy rich, and we're supposed to be okay with this. Now, what's crazy is that suddenly the president is now mad at Josh Hawley for even getting this bill through. He believes this act will be used to target him, even though Josh Hawley said otherwise.
People who are opposed to banning stock trading had said to the president that he would be covered by the bill. He'd have to sell Mar-a-Lago and sell assets. Not the case at all. The president and the vice president, all their assets are totally exempted.
It's like they can't even decide which bills to back anymore, and that's not a good sign. Now, I want you guys to tell me what you think about today's video. What do you think is really happening in the water between Russia and Alaska? Feel free to share your thoughts with everyone in the comments down below. Stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one.